Dillon, have you ever seen a plus 52 for a player?
No, I haven't really looked at plus minus. I just look at wins, but also played well on both sides, created turnovers, ran the floor and rewarded them. Was giving our guards and myself like a break, bringing up the ball and making plays. So I'm always a little critique. So one thing you probably got to work on is them free throws. What was he? He was 3 for 5. That's better than usual, but
Right.
Good game. Well,
Obviously, you're not one to back down from any challenge, and it got chippy there tonight. Maybe speak to what you guys were able to do in responding to the back and forth and playing the way you guys did.
it's up to them. I started out always. I raised the level of play. We find out if you want to play like that or play in your own game. But I knew we needed energy. Coming from Dallas, getting in late. And I was bringing it from the jump. And I knew when we got to the second quarter that, guys would start picking it up. And shout out to our bench, Ryan, Oso, Colin, Goody, Livers. They came in and, gave great energy.
Last thing I had was I think you had 24 in the first half. This is not nothing new for you to go on a run there offensively. What was working for you tonight, you think?
I was just getting to the mid-range. I work on that every day. Just getting to my mid-range, staying patient. And I knew, the 3 ball would start, falling from me. But, I could probably shoot that 3 a little bit better. 3 for 7 is okay.
Dillon, building off of the energy that you're just speaking about, this felt like a vintage Dillon Brooks game, the defense, the chippiness, and the 30 bomb. How are you able to just constantly bring that energy on a nightly basis?
I like that, vintage. I like that. People forget that I used to do this, but the new me. I like to play defense. I like to make it chippy, but it's like the icing on the cake when you're able to score. Like it defeats them so much. And, guys are saying off on my shot and they just falling and I can see them just shoulders drop and it just gets me going even more. And, my teammates, my coaches, they see me work every day, so there's no surprise. But, we watch the film, like I always say, see where we can get better, and we are on to the next.
Dillon, can you take us through the emotions when you got points 23 and 24, but 23 specifically? You left a little bit extra there when you fell.
Oh, I'm going to say that's probably 25K. But, I'm excited. I'm playing well. And, sometimes the emotions can get the best of me, but I reeled it in and kept going.
Speaking of vintage Dillon Brooks, we talked a few weeks ago. You mentioned wear-down effect being a signature of yours. Do you see your teammates embracing that in a game like that, where it's like put them in the dirt?
100%. It doesn't matter, who's guarding, who's on it. We follow our strategy. We play physical. We heat up the ball, and it slowly is wear and tears on, offenses, and it shows. We're at least a top 10 defense. We got to work on our rebound. That's why they stay in the game, rebounding and fouling. So, we're going to watch that and coach it up and bring that to the next game.
Dillon, looking at the team and obviously with you doing a lot of the things you do as far as setting that tone, it feels like the execution level has risen over the last week or two for your team. How are you seeing people on your team respond in certain moments that extend runs or start a new run and kind of give y'all the footing to go for it?
It's confidence. I say it every press conference. J.O. puts us in the right spots. He's got the right strategy that puts energy in the ball, and guys are confident. Guys are feeling like they're touching it. And, they can go make plays for themselves or for others. And when you have that, you can't really scout for that. You can't really, say, okay, you got to force this guy left and make him take this shot. Guys are moving that ball. We're forcing closeouts. We're getting to the rim, either dumping it off or passing it for a three. So, there's a lot of energy in that ball, a lot of energy in our group, and we play hard for each other.
Now, you mentioned the closeouts. Y'all been able to generate so many paint touches, and it feels like you get one within the first 7 to 10 seconds of the clock, and defenses are playing catch up. Do you feel like that's having, like Kelly mentioned, that wear down effect if teams have to rotate for so long over the course of games?
Yeah, it sounds like it's like a double wear down. Our offense, makes them move, and then our defense tries to demoralize them. So we keep playing this way, unselfish, get guys healthy, and keep this run going. We'll be in a good spot, come the new year.
Dealing with you mentioning your confidence, I was curious. You've been this confident for a very long time. Do you remember the last time on a basketball court you weren't confident?
I would say probably the series against the Lakers. I couldn't shoot the ball. The GM was telling me only shoot 6 shots, not giving me the confidence I needed. And, you could feel that energy, coming from, front office and coaches and, so never the players. The players always want to win. But you feel that energy, so, even if you're working, you're putting in the time, it's just not falling, So probably that was the last time, and I cut that off from then, and then I had that little feeble run, and all I kept doing was working, to get back to where I was, the vintage Dillon Brooks.
So you'd say, no matter how confident a player is, it is also on, the ecosystem environment around that guy to enable that confidence because anyone can lose it, essentially?
Yeah, this game is all about confidence, no matter what level it is. You got to be confident in your game, and that comes from work, or that comes from people telling you that you're good, or or you got to get better, and you slowly get better and better. And, once you have a good surrounding cast and a good team and great front office and good coaches, that the stuff shows. And you see it in every game and in good teams and good organizations. So, I don't want to go on a rant, but, on to the next game. Yeah. Oh, one more?
Oh, sorry.
No, you good.
Following up on Steven's question about the offense and the flow, Devin has been one of the league leaders in drives and paint touches this year. What's it like sharing the floor with a guy like that that's just constantly attacking, and what were you thinking during his third quarter flurry?
That's the Devin Booker I know. I guarded. He can get it going at any time. And, he creates so many, guys, double teams, all that. And, he makes it look so easy. It's great playing with him as a shooter, as another, guy that can score because you're getting wide open shots, and that, builds on your confidence and builds on your game. And he's so smart by, certain drives he does in certain ways. He manipulates the defense and gets to his spots, and, we need that every game. And, he finds, he finds and builds, players. So, kudos to him for sure. Thank you.